Hello and welcome. This is the F&O show. I am Agam Vakil, and in this show we talk about all that is buzzing in the futures and options space, and it's been a very, very active market at the moment. In fact, what you can't take your eyes off is on the bank Nifty. It's just been a stupendously well seller specifically. But let's move on and talk about what our experts think of these current markets. Well, let's get them in. We have Brijesh L of IDBI Capital and Ajit Mishra of Religare Broking who's joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for joining in. Ajit, welcome. What about you? How are you looking at both these key indices going forward?
Yeah, good morning, Agam. So, Agam, the last week was also a similar kind of a trend that we were witnessing, wherein index used to open with a gap up or with marginal gains followed by sideways move during the day. And today it's slightly the other way around, because after the gap up opening we are seeing profit taking, which is holding so far. So where we close, that is going to be critical. So intraday, if we manage to, let's say, sustain above this 570, 580 mark on the closing basis, again, this gradual up move would continue. Otherwise, we might see some consolidation, and that would result in a bit of a profit taking from the current levels towards 23,300 to 23,100 zone, and that would be the area where one can look for fresh longs, not the current levels. Banking looks comparatively better, but after making a new record high, the kind of profit taking or decline that we are seeing, that indicates that it's going to be difficult for bulls to maintain the higher levels. The tone looks positive, but be selective in banking space. Private banking may just looks comparatively better.
All right, Ajit, on an intraday basis, what would you do at the moment, and levels that you may watch out for when it comes to the bank Nifty, especially given it is the weekly options expiry as well?
Yes, so I think that this zone close to around 50,000, 450 to 500, that's the zone basically where it should hold, at least for the intraday. And upside, I feel that any recovery towards 50,880 to 950 zone, that might again attract some profit taking. So this zone is something that's likely to hold for the day.
All right, there you have it. Let's move on and talk about a handful of stocks then. And if we can actually pull out all the lists, list of stocks which are actually buzzing in trade. So we have longs in a whole lot of fertilizer companies. It's something that we will take up as well. Of course, Chamal Fertilizers, Coromandel. Besides that, of course, we have Torrent Pharma as well, which is advancing and looking at longs there. Indus Tower, of course, on account of the big stake sale coming through, which is why we're seeing that big surge in open interest for the futures. And Syngene International is the other one, which has actually now turned into longs. Besides that, in terms of stocks which are seeing unwinding, let's pull that up as well. So you have City Union Bank, which actually did show a lot of strength over the last few days, but looking at a lot of profit taking. The same for Sun TV. Dixon Technologies is now under pressure as well, looking at long unwinding there, as is the case for ABFRL. Remember that both Dixon, Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, in fact even something like Sun TV to a certain extent, were strong until yesterday, day before, even last week. And today it does seem like we're looking at a bout of profit taking coming through here. But moving on, let's see what's on the radar of our experts. So Ajit, I come back to you. Stocks that you like at the moment?
So as we are seeing noticeable traction and continuation of the move in the private banking measures specifically, IndusInd Bank is something that we like. The stock has finally witnessed a breakout from the reversal pattern, which is currently acting as a continuation, and the stock is holding over the major averages as well. So all factors are indicating that the prevailing tone is likely to continue. So 16.10 is what we are eyeing in IndusInd Bank. So with stop at 15.15, one can go long in the same. Other stock that we like is in the defensive basket, Medico, which has retraced from its record highs after 4 or 5 days of correction, and it has formed a fresh buying pivot. The chart pattern indicates the recovery now. So for the immediate target of around 640, one can go long with 618 as a stop.
All right, so well, there you have it. That's Marico and IndusInd Bank. Incidentally, IndusInd Bank is also on your radar, Bridget, a little bit of a breather. The question really is that, is this an occasion to, well, perhaps jump back into these names, or is this correction not deep enough? And of course, can't really talk about Garden Reach and Mazgon Dock for that matter, because you know, some of these names in the cash markets, they moved up so very much and so sharply that even a slight pullback hasn't necessarily meant a very, very positive, you know, risk-reward ratio, to so to speak, of you know, in order to get back in. Let's pull up Bharat Electronics and Hindustan Aeronautics, since both these companies are from the defense space. Ajit, if I can come to you on both of them, your assessment here, what's the way forward?
So Agam, we have retested the recent highs, the record high zone, which the stock have tested before the election, you know, results, and the next day we saw it, you know, plunge sharply. So we have retested that zone. So that's why we are seeing this bit, you know, profit taking now, and it might consolidate around the current levels, is what charts are indicating. So maybe closer to around 295 to 300 zone is something that it might, you know, form a fresh base. So if somebody is having an existing position, they may, you know, reduce their position, liquidate a bit, and wait for any dip around 295, 300 zone to re-enter, and maintain a stop at 285 for the complete position. Eventually, the next, you know, move over 320 can trigger the next leg of the up move in the stock, is what the indications are. HAL also a similar kind of a move, means it made a new record high in the last trading session, and that's why we are seeing this, you know, profit taking. There was a gap on the daily chart which has almost filled now. So again, here also we may see some consolidation. Good part is that we are still above the major averages, short-term averages as well. So until we break 5,050 levels decisively, the tone is likely to remain positive. But having said that, don't go aggressive in these names, because they have already moved up very sharply. So gradually accumulate them on dips and maintain strict stop losses, especially in the you know, defense-related counters from the FNS space.
Absolutely. But what's also been flying under the radar, you and fertilizer companies, which are of course buzzing in trade today. I have a final question because we're out of time, but this is perhaps more on you know, the GK of technicals. Ajit, this one is for you now. It just so happens that you know, Bank Nifty on the intraday level has made a new life high. But if the Bank Nifty were to close at around 50,700 and thereabout, that would also mean that in terms of a closing basis, it would not make a new high then, in that case. Under those circumstances, would you perhaps take a negative biased view on the Bank Nifty?
So Agam, if you see that on a weekly you know, time frame, we are trading in a uptrending channel in banking index, and we are currently trading closer to the upper band of the same. So in case if we fail to close above, let's say 51,000 mark decisively on the week-on-week basis, then it might take a beater or consolidate a bit, is what we have seen in the past also around the you know, upper band of the channel. But I would turn negative once we break 49,900 now. So otherwise, it's going to be a buy on dip market. But yes, for a fresh momentum on like, you know, weekly time frame, we need a close above 51,000 mark.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's a valid, you know, and fair enough explanation as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned. But on that note, we're out of time, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Ajit and Brijesh, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets. We slip into a short break, and on the other side, we continue with all the action on the commodity space. Back in just a bit.